Finally, some sunlight. About 3.2 miles in. Inside Paintbrush Canyon. Hello, moon. I think I'm heading that way. Still in Paintbrush Canyon. Making steep climbs now. Sun is risen. About 4.8 miles into the hike, run. Deep inside the canyon. Paintbrush Canyon. That's Lee Lake out there, I think, in the bottom, and then Jackson Lake at the top. I think. Hello, moon. I reached Holly Lake, 6.5 miles in. About an hour and 38 minutes of moving time. Actually, elapsed time. Seen about 5 or 6 people on this so far this morning. Very quiet. That's the way to Paintbrush Divide. About 3/4 of a mile from the top, Paintbrush Divide, getting a little bit of a drizzle. It's a mountain there. There's some campers down there and some hikers following me. Doing well. About 2 hours and 7 minutes in. Kind of negotiate a little snowfield. Hopefully it's not too bad. And now I'm seeing down this other canyon to the north side. I forget the name of it. I'll have to look. About 0.3 miles from the top. That little snow, which was probably about maybe 10 feet long, was a little sketchier than I'd like it to be, but got through it. Had to really dig in. Should have brought some crampons, but I think I'm okay now. There's Paintbrush Divide at the top, I believe. Paintbrush Divide, 4,100 feet of climbing, We're about 2 hours and 25 minutes elapsed time. Now heading down the rest of the way to Lake Solitude, then to Cascade Canyon, Jenny Lake, back home to the car. See the trail unnegotiated coming up here, and then went around sweeping this way, came up and hugged along that rock all the way over here, and at the top. That canyon down there, I don't know the name of that one, but it's one north of Paintbrush. I think that's a Grand Teton out there. Entering the Cascade Canyon, and if I'm a betting man, I'm guessing that's Lake Solitude. Gotta come down this big one. There's Cascade Canyon down that way to the South Fork Junction. Looks like we got some clouds coming in. There's Lake Solitude, there's a few hikers down there. And out there by those trees, still coming down the divide to Lake Solitude. You can hear the water from Lake Solitude, I guess Cascade Creek maybe it's called. Yeah, about 30 years ago, Dad and I got to Lake Solitude. And this is the trail we saw going up the mountain, the Paintbrush Divide. There's some Indian paintbrush right there. So very quiet. Guess that's why they call it Lake Solitude. Try to get that Pika to talk to me. How rude. I would call that a U-shaped canyon there. Almost at Lake Solitude. That's the Paintbrush Divide climb. Lake Solitude. 3 hours and 14 minutes in. There's the Paintbrush Divide trail. And I'm heading towards the sun there. Still heading down the Lake Solitude Trail towards South Fork. About 11.8 miles in. If the kiddos want to come do a hike with Dad, this is a good boulder field. Come on. There's where I'm headed. Cascade Canyon. Getting close to the South Fork, and very sure that's Grand Teton right there, straight ahead. Beautiful canyon. Made it to the South Fork, heading down Cascade Canyon. Not much views from here. 3:55 in, about 13.5 miles. Only about 1,000 feet decline of elevation to go. About a mile into Cascade Canyon from the South Fork. There's the Grand Teton, just, I think maybe that's at the peak there. Inspiration Point, 4 hours and 38 minutes in, 17.25 miles. And there's the Grand, right through there. Well, I did it. A little bit under 20 miles, just a shade. There's Cascade Canyon. Over there is Paintbrush Canyon, and made the loop. Yay.